Looks like we are going to start off on Blood Run to begin with as we get into this. Here we are, Rapha and Ray. Let's start up on the QuakeCon 2013 champion. Has a nice ring to it. I wonder if he gets bored of being called a champion. Does that get boring? Nah, surely not. Either way, intercepting his opponent slightly there. Let's check out Rapha's decision making here. He's got the red coming out soon, of course, a yellow quickly before that. He gets to contest of, with moving through that choke point if he wants to go directly for that red, or guaranteed yellow plus positioning on the mega. And look at that. So really nice decision if you break it down, because Ray actually assumed that Rapha would go for the red, and of course Rapha had the choice between red and yellow, so it is not too far to imagine that is something that he could do. But he goes for it, and this is much more in the meta game recently as well. I've seen it a lot in the top level. Players will just go for that yellow and then sweep back for the mega, even though the red is going to be spawning first, because they know that they will have a defensive advantage on taking the mega. So if the player does take the red and gets to the mega in time, it's still going to be advantage for Rapha in his decision. So that's kind of, and there he got lucky, of course. Ray was just sitting there thinking that he was going to go for the red. So Ray's in a terrible position now. Nice little rail, but Rapha can just go aggressive and could have caught the double back there if Ray didn't predict that rocket jump interception back up. So already you can see the level of decision making coming from Rapha, and hopefully now he's going to be able to show us how he intends to make the frag. So let's look at that, because that's kind of what he's concerned with. It's kind of pointless to have 200-200 if you don't know how to make the frag. You got to make the control worthwhile somehow, and of course the opponent's job is to make sure that despite such a huge disadvantage stack-wise, he's able to kill the clock and kill the time and just continually evade your attempts to frag him. So what methods is Rapha going to use to try and grab that kill? Or is it just going to be a straight up mistake from Ray rather than a great play from Rapha to get that frag? So I'm very happy Rapha corrected me about the whole QuakeCon thing. So here we go, Rapha creeping around. This might be the interception he needs. There you go. He tries to be silent for as long as possible, and there it is. Catches Ray just enough damage. Bit awkward that frag, but it was a frag nonetheless, and somewhat clean. Rapha gonna be caught a little bit by Ray there, and aim not super true, but it doesn't matter. He had enough stack left over to deal with it regardless. Rapha's going to be in a position now to basically take the mega, and Ray has no weapons, and he's just got this. Oh, good God. Oh my God, the shards save him. The 5 shards. I don't think I've ever seen the shards save someone. Those shards at least. But they do, and he took a lot of damage there, but of course that mega was a given for him due to the fact that his opponent had no weapons. The fact that Ray managed to hit a point blank grenade is another matter, but it was definitely a very favorable situation. You always got to count on what weapons your opponent has as to how bold the decisions you can make are, how strong certain positions may or may not be. And Rapha now going to make his way back up towards this mega. See, after the yellow perhaps, there it is, up on the spot. And actually a good rocket coming in to negate the full mega. And some rail damage coming in from Ray. So Rapha just has to be smart about this, basically. He's in a position where he's a little bit, not vulnerable necessarily, but his position is kind of fragile. It was kind of fragile in the sense that he had, the 50 health, he only had like 100 armor. He wants to stabilize first and then put together some kind of play. So he's managed to stabilize. There's the rocket jump. There's the rail. He's cut his opponent off from that mega, did the damage, and took the, oh my God, again the grenades from Ray. This is kind of the X factor for Ray in these fights, because Rapha's committed to the fight, but then that grenade comes in, and that starts the fight off with Rapha having 100 resources less than he intended to have when he committed to the fight, which means that he's in a very bad spot, because he committed already. So it's like, I have no escape options because I knew I was going to win this fight, but yeah, that's what those kinds of grenades do. That's why now Ray is able to maintain this frag difference so much so. for so long as he is right now, because Rapha's got to rebuild again. And
5-minute warning.
Red up on the spot again, positioning for that. Misses an easy rail there, Rapha, and another rail missed, but that's okay. He's hitting the shots. Mega and Red close together, but Mega always the favorite if you're able to bully your way onto it. And yeah, that's going to be a Mega won by Rapha for certain. Picking up the frag there. There's the pickup of that Mega. Rocket jump back up and to the Red as well. So Rapha, again, back in the position where he's got the overwhelming advantage, and there's no reason for him not to try and frag Ray within the limitations of not being too risky through leaving items up. So within the limitations of, I have to take this item to maintain the cycle. If he gets any extra time to hunt, he's going to go and do that. So that's more or less what this is about. He doesn't have to go out of his way to make the frags happen though, because at the moment, he can just play the War of Attrition. Anytime Ray wants to come to him to try to do something, he can just do the damage and then keep cycling items. And he's just going to be able to bully Ray off everything. So it's the War of Attrition coming in again, and Rapha in such a good position. Going to be able to pick up these yellow armors. There is one. And the other one he knows goes to Ray. So you can assume that Ray has at least a yellow right now. And after picking up this red, he still doesn't want to drop, but it can work if he hits a lot, and he does miss the shots. Okay, so definitely a very painful situation for Rapha now. He is only 4 frags ahead, going a bit aggressive. Ray hits another direct grenade. Again, somewhat the X factor for Ray. And by X factor, I mean like there's some unexplainable thing that no one can count on. And once again makes another frag. So Rapha's got to be careful not to be too carefree against Ray in this position with the clock as it is at the moment, 3 minutes remaining. It's definitely in the cards for Ray with such a stack to be able to bring this back. And there he spot. Oh, that was even a direct. I believe that was a direct. Let's have a look. Yeah, Rapha's very, very low right now. Anything will kill him. 46 health. Rapha playing with fire. He's playing with not even fire, just an inferno right now. Just one rail kills him and there's a 2-frag game. And it's not just the fact that one rail kills him and there's a 2-frag game. That's not the only thing there. Is if he dies, then think about spawn frag possibilities. And let's say a spawn frag does happen, which can very well happen. Ray going aggressive here. Oh, a lot of damage. He does get the kill. Let's say a spawn frag does happen, then it's 4 to 3. Then off of the next spawn, Ray's got a huge stack still because it's so clean, killing a spawner. And then think of how much Ray knows about Rapha. He knows that he needs all the weapons. And he knows vaguely where his position will be due to where he was when he killed Rapha. So you get all this information, and that puts the out of control player in a very, very, very tough spot because he has nothing at all, like really, really nothing. And you have an abundance of information to deal with that guy. So I mean, that's kind of something you've got to consider. And the thing is, though, is that we're past that now. Rapha's picked up some weapons. If we go over to him, he's scrounged together some armor. It's going to be very hard for Ray to just kill him because he's got the utility that the weapons give him, amongst other things too. So there you go. Rapha is finding a lot of efficient damage. He is really punishing Ray for sticking his neck out, and Rapha's boldness there was something that Ray did not anticipate, and it yielded a lot of damage for Rapha. So there you go, it's a 2-frag difference. Rapha's comfortable now. He's very, very comfortable. He's got the 200 armor he needs. All the weapons once again. Mega spawning. Look at it, even getting aggressive. He doesn't need to do this at all. He can just go to Mega and just, I don't know, find a nice corner somewhere and just, you know, chill. But he wants to get the frag, and he does exactly just that. So now Ray is basically being completely disarmed. There's no way that he can even hurt Rapha at this point. So map number 1 goes to Rapha. Certainly so. And there you go, another little frag coming in there. 20 seconds until everything is over. Blood run is over. 20 seconds. He's just going to go for it. Ah, nice.
Impressive.
So there you go, 8-2, the final score between Rapha and Ray on Blood Run. And we'll move on to the next map. Rapha playing very well overall. Maybe a little bit shaky on the execution. That's something that kind of hurt him here and there. And I think ultimately it meant that Ray was able to get some frags, basically, because it kind of wears down on you after a while. If you're constantly having fights where you're losing more health and armor than you should, then it means that your opponent on the next fight can do a bit more than you should be able to do, and then it just kind of can snowball a little bit. But moving on to Cure now, and this should be a similar story for Rapha, I should imagine. I mean, how can you count the chips against Rapha? I mean, how can you bet anything against Rapha? It's just very, very difficult. If he's playing against, some of the top Europeans, or maybe playing against a Hang or something, or even, Chance, I can see it, but I mean, Ray is someone that lacks the kind of experience that's really required. I think it's fair to say that. I mean, nothing against Ray at all. He's a good player, but it's Rapha. It's the world champion. I mean, come on. Here we go. The game's getting live. So we will just jump straight into this. And this is map number 2, match point for the world champion, Rapha. Shane Rapha Hendrickson of SK Gaming. And on Ray to start with. I actually want to see how Rapha plays his start spawn though. So he picks up the rocket launcher, gets the shot. Okay, this is the standard thing. He has the LG already. And again, the LG very, very, very easy to abuse that at the red. If you know what you're doing. So let's see if Rapha's able to go for that. Does he want to? Yeah, this is what I was talking about, that spot right there. And then his opponent backed away, so he's like, okay, I'm just going to go for it then. But basically at the very start, he's like, okay, he kind of wants Ray to go for that red, because he knows that with the LG, with the spot that he had, he can trap Ray really horrendously there, because there's no way that Ray can splash rockets with him. So Ray either has to shoot rails, or there's so little he can do. So Rapha's like, okay, you can take the red there, but because he went away, decided not to do so. So very smart stuff from Rapha, and the red is up on the spot again, and Rapha's taking so much damage again. Some execution snafus, but nevertheless, he does save himself with the rail. And that's going to yield him a red armor, which is always very nice. Shiny red armor. And Mega's coming up soon, but the interest in the Mega is not high from either player. Understandably so. It is not so comfortable to take. Unless you absolutely know for certain that your security is guaranteed. And Rapha does a lot of damage there, and that allows him to do this rocket jump up and grab that Mega, so very, very nice play there. That damage basically allowed him to take Mega without any fear of anything, because he did so much damage there that Ray can't be comfortable to try to attack. He can't be comfortable in that moment to try to aggress. And Rapha are going to just absolutely follow straight on to Ray with the LG. And again, this is the spot. I mean, you can't splash there. You have to hit the red rockets. So if the opponent has no LG, then it's just the perfect spot to fight when they try to commit for the red. So that's one of the important things about it. And Rapha, I've actually seen people do the directs there in that spot before, which is very funny, because it shouldn't ever happen. It's really sad for the guy with the LG. He actually makes the situation, like thinks ahead and everything, plans everything, and makes it work, and then the thing that's extremely like 1% actually happens. So Rapha with some good damage there, picks up a yellow as well, and he's 2 frags in the lead. He's only looking to build on this. Red is coming up very soon. There it is, red. And again, this is the spot, and he does gun down Ray, picks up the red. The other thing about that is, if you have the stack advantage, the LG versus LG fights should almost always go your way on flat ground. It should always in fact go your way, unless you're when you're at a certain level in this game. On flats, oh, beautiful rail. On flats, you should really be able to hit between 35 and 40%. LG, I think it's fair to say, for the very top level, it's always been that way. And so that's kind of something you can kind of count on in your decision making. So there's Rapha going to dart back. towards the LG area. Mega's ages away though, and I don't know if it's just because he wanted to look for that angle on the shards or why he was standing on it. I think he's got a missed time. And he does take a rocket to the face, so Rapha's in suddenly a very terrible position. I mean, the way that I can see this happening is if he did get the missed time, committing to positioning that's not relevant, but he thinks it is because of the missed time. So that's an interesting move there. And Ray almost had a frag. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to actually get that in the end, but he almost had a frag. And those shards, always very yummy. And the screen as well. Ooh, very, very nice shot by Ray. And there's Rapha from above. Good rockets onto Ray. Actually quite risky from Rapha as well. One stray rocket would connect. Oh, Ray! Ooh, pushes Rapha off, but if only he had... I hope he had... I guess he had no LG cells left, but I hope that was the case and not just a bad switch. And Ray right now gonna go with the follow-up, and this is his chance now in the game. This could be his biggest opportunity. The thing is that the big items are quite far away, so Ray has to make sure that he plays pretty safe and plays quite solidly on these items, and make sure that he uses his weapons to the full potential. Like Red, for example, is going to be by far more important than Mega here, because he's in a spot where he's far behind enough that... Okay, so this is... You can go for the split play. Oh my god, Rapha thought he was going to go for the red. Interesting. And he's going to get both. So the point I was going to make is that Ray is in a position where, with both big items spawning, and let's say both players know about it, in that situation which Ray is in, he needs to go for the play that wins him both items and not the safe play that is where you go do the mutual agreement. Okay, we'll split map, because he needs to get 5 frags back. That's not an easy task against Rapha. You need the big plays to actually accomplish that. So that's but luckily for him, Rapha had no idea, it seems, that he was going to be at the Mega. So it turned into a frag. So beautiful stuff from Ray, and he wins another red. And Mega's up on the spot, but Ray should be able to count on the fact that Rapha won't be close to the Mega. He could be far away on the angles, watching over Mega, but he won't be close. So that could always be a potential for a frag. And there you go, Ray getting caught here. Rapha coming in at perfect timing. Perfect timing to deal the damage. I mean, it's just so pristine how it was accomplished by Rapha there, because he waited until the last possible second to catch that bad positioning by Ray to go for the Mega. This was another reason why I would have loved Ray to understand that Rapha knows not to be close to the Mega when it's spawning. And so Ray could have basically tried to close off the long-range angles in a close range way, if you know what I mean. So there you go, Rapha catches Ray once more with the LG damage, and that's going to be very painful. Now Ray cannot go for this red armor. He does get the Mega, and Rapha does miss a rail, but look, I mean, it's just, Rapha still has so many opportunities to make good of this situation, and he cleans it up, taking a bit more damage than he should like, but it's fine. 8-1 now, 3 minutes left. And there is Ray once more, going for the LG, and you know, the LG is... This is the other thing about not having the LG in this map. There is some kind of Lost World-ish situations where you can kind of deny the LG for quite a while, because look at this spot. I mean, there is a teleporter there. If that teleporter wasn't there, I think it could make the map a lot worse, because the player getting that LG does need a way to escape sometimes, and the higher positioning is... Actually, I was about to start talking about map making theory, but I won't go into that. I guess that's how tired I am. It's just starting to go super off topic, but 8-1, the score, and with 2 minutes left, Rapha, you know, most certainly has secured this victory in the bag, and you know, he won the first map blood run, so that's it for Ray, unfortunately, unless Ray goes huge. And there's some LG damage, and there's another frag. So very simple stuff. Rapha can just, you know, he can just do anything he wants at this point. And that was actually perfect LG from Ray. You can see the it was so strong that it like made rapha like glide. It's like he was hang gliding there or something, with the LG attached to him. So perfect LG from Ray. I'm just gonna take a look at some of the stats, the items taken and so on. I mean, there's not a huge disparity of the items. It's all about the decisions, I think it's safe to say. And another mega picked up by Rapha. So looking at making another frag, but in his position, he's more concerned about armor. And he can really try to play safe by taking with the armor, by taking the greens, taking the shots, and play pressure around it rather than really prioritizing pressure first, armor first, then pressure. And there's actually Rapha taking it to Ray out of the teleporter. He likes the engagement, so he's gonna stick around, but now it's lost a bit of its flavor. He's gonna get himself out of there. So very, very simple stuff. And 30 seconds left in this last minute of the map. So Mega up on the spot. Ray's there below. Ooh, that was a beautiful bounce there. And gonna get this one. Come on, Ray! Come on, Ray! Come on! Come on! Oh, Rapha gets away. Oh, Ray. Why you let Rapha get away? Anyways, there you go, 9-1. Rapha gonna win this, and he is gonna go through, and Ray is not. That's how it works here at FACEIT. I was thinking about, you know, in StarCraft, some of the ways that they actually mix things up in the leagues and everything is they change the formats, for example, of their tournaments. Like, you know, whether it's, you know, how far the best of one phase goes, how the best of one phase works, how do they do groups and all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking actually maybe worth discussing to throw something like that in, you know, change some rule sets. Someone had an interesting idea about, I mean, this is kind of a fundamental gameplay change, but I saw in reality someone had an idea about removing the ability to slow spawn, which I think is actually kind of interesting. But at the same time, it could really break some maps. So, I don't know, stuff to think about, stuff to discuss, stuff to think about. So we'll go to no break. Okay, we're jumping into another game. I don't deserve a break, it seems. I'm just going to find the okay, apparition versus chain is going to be the game, and